At Home with Lucas here. So today we're going to talk about the Mirador Pergola. Yes, people, this is a 10 by 13 beast. I finally got my hands on one for my backyard and I'm super excited. In this video, we're doing a quick unboxing and then we're gonna figure out how to put this thing together. I actually built it by myself, believe it or not. Yes, it says you need 4 people, but I'll show you in this video exactly how to do it. Now, you may be looking at the instructions right now going, oh my gosh, this is insane. But I'm here to tell you it's not as hard as you think right now. Or you may be online going, should I buy this thing? Is it something to buy or should I skip it altogether? I'm gonna tell you all the ins and outs of the shipping, the weight, and all that fun stuff so that you don't have to waste your time buying this very heavy thing and returning it. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, so when this thing arrived, I was expecting it to be in one giant box, but they do say on Amazon it comes in 3 boxes, and they were not lying. It's 3 boxes. Each one is over 100 pounds, so 2 people need to move it unless you have a dolly or something to pull it with like I do. I'll show you right here. So here's me going out trying to attempt it by myself. I'm trying to do this whole job solo. Here is my wagon right here that's been reinforced a little bit. And after a little bit of trial and error, I was able to put the boxes on 1, 2, 3 and roll them into my backyard. Okay, so these are the boxes that come. This should have the instruction manual in it, the longest one. I do like how they give you box of 2, box of 3 right there. So let's go ahead and get into the unboxing. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is clear off this entire patio. I'm gonna remove everything, that way I can lay out everything that I need to and make sure I have enough room. So let's go ahead and clear this off. All right, there we go, fully cleared. Now we're just gonna blow it all off with a leaf blower. Okay, the first thing the instructions say is to pull out the 1A beams. So I got these pulled out right here. They have A markings all over the top of them. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna screw in the plates right here. I believe the plates are actually inside of that box. This box, of course, is like a armored box. You have 4 screws on the top that you have to take out. There you go. Those are all of the things needed for this job. It's pretty amazing how they have this set up. Wow. And these are actually the plates that you need right here, very thick. Wow. Okay, so you need 6 of the O's. They're all marked right on the front. Don't get that confused with Q. Then you need to take this and you want to slide that all the way on there. That way you can take your bracket or whatever this is called and you put it on the bottom. Okay, one little tip is grab one of these spare pieces of cardboard and just stick it underneath here. That'll lift this whole thing up, allowing you to really get good access at this. That was really great. Okay, so there you go. There's 2 holes that will not have screws in it. For this one, you just put all 6 in like that. Okay, now you're gonna slightly loosen the bolts right here with your tool. That's Y, it's the big Allen wrench. Okay, then you just slide this down in. They say slightly loosen these up, but I found that if it's not sliding easily, you need to loosen it. And whichever one feels a little bit tighter, that's the one that's causing it to not to slide in, but it should slide in just like that. The way that this works is there's pieces of metal right there, and those pieces of metal slot right down into here. Now, there's only one way for it to slot down. It looks like there's multiple ways, but there's actually not. So once you get it fully lined up, it's going to slide down really easily. And if it doesn't slide down, you need to loosen these until it fully just flops right into place. Here's my kind of crazy way of doing it. I'm going to be going up onto that ladder. I'm going to push that up until it lines up with that right there. And then I'm just simply going to drop it down in, tighten it all up, and then let the whole thing hold itself up. I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. Okay, so this is where you definitely need to have more than one person. This is where I had to really think hard on how to get this thing fully set up. I actually tied a extension cord to my ladder so that I could pull the ladder back because I needed the ladder to hold the whole setup up. So it was actually holding the whole pergola up, and then I had to pull it out of the way, releasing the pressure from the right side, putting the pressure on the left side, and then I had to use the ladder to actually lock in that top corner. So I needed to pull the ladder over while balancing everything. So this took me a lot of thinking to figure this all out. Definitely not recommended. Get someone else to hold it up for you while you're doing this. It's pretty simple, very lightweight job. They just need to stand there and hold it. But once I got this fully set up, I was able to just pop the thing down and away I went. Okay, here we go. It's finally coming together. Wow, I had to use some serious ingenuity on that one. That was quite wild. Okay, so now I have this 10 piece right here, this 10 footer right here. I'm gonna basically try to pick it up, slot it into that slot there, and then slot it into that slot, and tighten it up and see how it looks. Getting close. Okay, now it looks like you take this, which I thought was actually a tool, but this is the driving part of this entire thing, and you clip it right on here. Just like that. It only goes on one way. You put a screw right here, and then you put a screw right down in there, and that's how this attaches here to one of these D pieces of metal right here. And that is just a Q screw right there. All right, there you go. That is how it's gonna look. There's only one of these. You could put it on any one of these. And then on the other side, you're gonna use this K bracket right here. Slide it over. It only fits on one way. Then you're gonna also use the Q screws again. And there you go, that's how it looks, just like that. So that is on the other end. Okay, once you finish putting that on there, and then one of these on the end there, you're basically just gonna be putting the rest of these on all of those using the Q screws. So 2 for each one, all the way down on both sides, and then you're good to go. Okay, there we go. I've gotten all the brackets put on to all these guys. It's definitely tedious, and if you have someone else with a drill, that's gonna help out a huge amount. I did it all by myself, and this is the first thing that I said, oh, I definitely want to have someone else helping. Okay, next up we're gonna be installing this part right here. Basically all you're gonna be doing is removing this Allen right here with the small Allen wrench. Once you remove the long bolts right here, you have this exposed nut. Okay, so this part is very crucial. This needs to go over, and then it needs to go back, and it goes right over that nut really, really easily, just like that. So look at the diagram, make sure you have it right, and then when you turn this down here, you'll actually see that it moves perfectly, and then you can move it all the way back. So it should move very easily. That is very crucial. Then once you have that in place, you're just gonna put your giant bolt back in, finger tighten it, and then use your Allen to lock it into place. And there it goes, it just locks in. It doesn't tighten snug on here. It's just gonna lock into the washer. Okay, next up we're gonna be using these bad boys right here and our P screws, which are the little ones. Okay, and basically these are gonna go right here, locking this into place. Okay, it goes on just like that. Get it nicely locked in. I did have to rotate this a little bit to get it out of the way of the second screw, but that's no big deal. So I put that one on first, rotated this out of the way, put that one on second. Okay, once you put on that one, you're gonna be putting the rest of these on. So now it's just a matter of picking them all up, putting them on top, and screwing them all in. Things that I figured out is you want to put as many of these on as you can reach. So I can reach over to 3. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'll screw those in, and then those, and then I'll go and screw in the 3 on the back side. That way I'm not having to go back and forth. So that's a little trick that works really well. Okay, once you get all of those on like that, you're gonna tilt them up like this. You're gonna get your little S clips right here, and then you're gonna put each one of these onto each one of these right here. Okay, there we go. I got some of the clips on, and it's really, really great that this is completely flexible. So you're gonna have to flip up a couple of these at a time because they keep hitting. So you're gonna have to flip up a couple while this is pulled out, and then just line them up and push them in, clip them, and then just keep going down the line. Okay, one of the last things is to put these triangle things with the R screws up there on the top corners. So one on each corner. They'll just go right on here, line them up with the holes right there. Go. That's how the screws look. Really nice. Cleans the top corners up. Okay, here we go. This is what it should look like when it's completely finished. Let's go ahead and do the test. So if you can crank this and that opens smoothly with no problems, then you have completed your installation. If you have any problems while cranking it, you need to stop and troubleshoot. All right, there we go. That is a success, people. Awesome. If you have any questions, comment down below, of course, if you run into any problems. But there you go. That is a A+ installation in my book. Okay, let's take a quick minute and talk about the final result, the final thoughts on the installation process. So I'm going to say that this is intermediate to advanced, and I'm going to say it was easy for me just because I have dealt with a lot of different things. I've installed so many different things, and I've put together, but this is one where you definitely need to have at least 2 people. You could do it by yourself like I did, but you definitely don't want to do that. If you have 2 ladders, that's really going to help. If you have another person at times to put in some of the work, that's really going to help. But yeah, so installation, I'm going to say for me, it was easy, but it was definitely a mental game. I had to constantly figure out how to get this thing to line up and constantly figure out how to put it all together. But when I look back on it, I say, you know what? It was just a bunch of tightening of screws and bolts up top. But once you get all of the big, heavy stuff put together, then it's just a lot of tedious screwing and locking into place. So I'm going to say that this is definitely something that if you can build an IKEA bed, if you can put together something that needs a bunch of screws and whatnot, it's pretty straightforward. It's more daunting and it seems more challenging when you look at the instructions, or when you look at it online, you think this is going to be impossible to put together, but it's actually not. They did a really good job of making it very straightforward and really simple. And it's definitely something that I think most people with simple knowledge of tools, they're going to be able to do that pretty easily. So 2 thumbs up for the installation. One tip that I'm going to give is, if you're putting it in grass like I did on the outside of your patio, you definitely want to measure the distance on the inside. It'll show you on the instructions. You want to measure the distance on the inside and then dig out accordingly. I had to dig out because this side was really low and those sides over there were kind of high, so I had to dig them down in order to completely level it. The other thing is, when you're putting it all together, if you have 2 people who can be on ladders, then you're able to just slot those straight down, and that will keep everything nice and plumb. If you only have 1 person like I did, you have to do some crazy stuff, which was not very easy. So yeah, definitely measure first and install second, and do all the groundwork first, and that'll help you out tremendously. But big 2 thumbs up for this installation job. Wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. All right, there you go. That's the Mirador Pergola install how-to video. Hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, definitely give it a like. If you want to subscribe, definitely hit that subscribe button. Hopefully I helped you out and made your life a little bit easier, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.